Those who dive into dreams explore worlds inaccessible to the waking mind. Carl Jung. Before we begin, here's a small ritual. Write in the comments one word that accurately describes your current state. Sign it, and let's get started. You lie down, hoping that tonight will finally be different. But as your head touches the pillow, the same restless cycle begins. Thoughts spin endlessly, pulling you into old regrets, silent fears, and that dull emptiness sitting deep inside your chest. The room is quiet, but inside your mind, there's a storm you cannot stop. You've tried everything people recommend: breathing exercises, soft music, herbal teas, expensive mattresses, guided meditations, apps promising to shut down your racing mind. But nothing brings real peace. You fall asleep from exhaustion, not from rest. And when you wake up, the weight is still there, sometimes heavier. People around you say things like, "Just relax, don't overthink, stay positive." But you know that these phrases don't touch what's really happening inside, because your struggle isn't with sleep itself, it's with what waits for you in the silence, in that fragile space where consciousness fades and something deeper awakens. The truth no one wants to say out loud is this: sleep is not always rest. Sleep is where your subconscious rises, and your subconscious holds everything you've avoided for years: old pain, unfinished stories, suppressed emotions, the darker parts of yourself you tried to forget, your shadow. Every night, your mind tries to bring these buried parts back into awareness, not to punish you, not to torture you, but because they need to be seen, they need to be integrated. And the longer you fight them, the heavier your nights become. This isn't about you being weak or broken. You were simply never taught how to enter your own inner world safely. No one showed you how to face your subconscious with compassion instead of fear. No one told you that your restless nights are not failures. They are invitations. Most people see sleep as nothing more than physical rest. But in reality, sleep is a gateway, a transition between the conscious and the unconscious, a portal into the deepest layers of your mind. And depending on how you approach it, that portal can either pull you into endless suffering or open a path to profound healing. But here's where most of the world lies to you. The self-help industry sells you simple tricks. Take this pill, follow this routine, repeat this mantra. Surface-level solutions for wounds that live far beneath the surface. Pills sedate you. Apps distract you. Affirmations numb you. But none of them help you meet what truly lives inside. Because true healing doesn't happen by avoiding your shadow. It happens when you turn toward it. When you stop running from the discomfort and allow yourself to feel what's been hidden for so long. The culture around you teaches you to escape. Social media floods you with images of happiness, productivity, and control. Therapy often remains trapped in endless conversations without touching the raw core beneath the words. Motivational books tell you to be your best self, but rarely show you how to sit in silence with your pain. You've been told to fix yourself, to improve, to rise above your problems. But what if your freedom isn't in fixing or rising above? What if it's in descending into the places you fear most and finding your power there? Because inside your pain lives your deepest intelligence. Inside your fear lives the part of you that knows what you need. Inside your restless nights lives the key to everything you've been searching for. If these words resonate with you, subscribe to the channel. This way, more people will finally hear the truth that has been kept from them for too long. For decades, science has tried to simplify sleep, reducing it to cycles, stages, and brain waves. But what they often avoid discussing is the real battlefield happening beneath these measurements. The problem is not that your brain can't shut down, it's that your conscious mind refuses to surrender control. Sleep demands surrender. It demands trust. And trust is terrifying for a mind trained to survive through control, through constant thinking, analyzing, and preparing for danger. The culture we live in rewards overthinking. It praises those who never stop moving, never stop planning, never stop achieving. And yet when night comes, that same hyperactive system becomes your greatest enemy. The mind that kept you safe during the day becomes the force that torments you at night. Most modern solutions attack only the surface. Sleeping pills chemically knock you unconscious, but rob your brain of its natural cycles of emotional processing. They don't let you rest. They paralyze your brain's healing work. Meditation apps teach you to let go, but they rarely prepare you for what surfaces when you do. Breathing exercises calm your nervous system, but cannot face the deeper layers hiding underneath. And so people end up trapped. They try everything that's supposed to work, and when nothing changes, they blame themselves. They think they are broken, that something inside them is damaged beyond repair. But the system itself is broken, not you. The system never taught you that your restless mind isn't a malfunction. It's an alarm, a call to enter parts of yourself you've spent your entire life avoiding. The truth is brutal. Positive thinking doesn't heal unresolved trauma. Visualization doesn't erase the shame you never faced. Productivity hacks don't silence the child inside you who still carries fear and loneliness. You've been sold the illusion that you can outthink your pain, but you can't. Pain doesn't disappear because you pretend it's not there. In fact, the more you resist, the louder it becomes. And nowhere is that louder than in your sleep. When you finally lie down, the conscious distractions fall away. The television is off. The phone is silent. The conversations have ended. There's nothing left to shield you from yourself. And in that silence, the unprocessed parts of you rise. They appear as racing thoughts, nightmares, restless energy, or even physical tension that keeps you from falling asleep. This is your subconscious knocking, not to destroy you, but to be heard. You were never meant to run from these parts of yourself. You were meant to meet them, and sleep offers the most direct access to these hidden realms. But you were never taught how to enter them safely. No one gave you a map for exploring your inner world while your body rests. Instead, you were told to either suppress or ignore. Now you understand why the techniques you've tried haven't worked. They treat symptoms, not causes. They numb discomfort instead of helping you face what's underneath. The real question isn't how to silence your mind. The real question is how to meet what your mind is trying to show you. This is where true work with sleep begins. Not in forcing your brain to shut down, not in drugging it into stillness, but in learning to consciously enter the doorway that opens every night. A doorway that leads directly into your subconscious world. And inside that world is where your true healing waits. Science has long observed the complex architecture of sleep. Light sleep, deep sleep, rapid eye movement. Each stage serves a purpose. But what few talk about is the psychological battlefield unfolding during these stages. In deep sleep, your brain performs repair work on your body. Cells regenerate, hormones stabilize. But in REM sleep, the phase where most vivid dreams occur, your mind processes emotional content. This is not random noise, it's targeted, intentional work. Harvard Medical School has shown through studies that REM sleep allows the brain to safely revisit emotionally charged memories, disarm their intensity, and store them without the same emotional weight. This is why people often feel emotional relief after vivid dreaming, even if the dreams were intense or strange. At Stanford, neuroscientists have mapped how trauma survivors experience REM differently. When trauma remains unprocessed, REM sleep gets disrupted. The brain struggles to enter this healing phase, leaving individuals trapped in cycles of shallow sleep and emotional exhaustion. This explains why many people with anxiety or post-traumatic stress wake up feeling like they haven't rested at all. The brain tries to do its work but cannot complete the process without your conscious cooperation. The doorway exists, but you never learned how to step through it. Some of the most elite military units in the world now train soldiers using dream rehearsal techniques. They use visualizations and controlled dream exposure to practice responses to high-stress scenarios. Olympic athletes practice similar methods, mentally rehearsing routines during pre-sleep states to improve performance. The principle is the same. The mind, when properly guided, can use sleep to integrate complex emotional and physical challenges. Your brain is already wired for this kind of work. You simply haven't been taught how to use it. Researcher Stephen LaBerge has spent decades studying lucid dreaming, conscious awareness within dreams. His experiments proved that when people become aware they're dreaming, they can actively engage with dream content, transform it, and even communicate signals to researchers during sleep. The implications are enormous. It means that sleep is not a passive state. With training, it becomes an interactive space where you can explore, confront, and integrate aspects of your psyche that you cannot easily face while awake. This is not fantasy. Cognitive neuroscience continues to confirm that the brain remains highly active during sleep, processing information, regulating emotions, and rehearsing problem-solving scenarios. What you experience as strange, symbolic dreams are your brain's way of translating complex emotional data into manageable narratives. Symbols, metaphors, and bizarre imagery are not meaningless. They are the language of your unconscious mind. When you learn to enter sleep consciously, you open direct dialogue with this part of yourself. You stop running. You stop suppressing. You become an active participant in your own healing process. This is where the concept of other realities through sleep becomes real. You are not escaping reality. You're entering deeper layers of it. Layers that operate beneath your daytime awareness, but influence every thought, every decision, every emotion you experience. Most people never cross this threshold because they've been conditioned to believe that sleep is simply a break from life. In truth, it's an entire world inside you, waiting to be explored. And once you enter it with awareness, you gain access to parts of yourself that have remained hidden, sometimes for decades. But there's something even deeper, something most people are never prepared to face. The moment you begin working with your dreams consciously, you're no longer just calming your mind. You're stepping into direct contact with your shadow. The shadow isn't some mystical concept. It's the part of you that holds everything you've rejected. Fears you couldn't admit, desires you've suppressed, memories you've buried. Jung called it the dark side of the psyche. Not because it's evil, but because it remains in the dark, outside your conscious awareness. And when you enter the dream world with awareness, you don't just see pleasant landscapes or fantasies. You meet this shadow face to face. For many, this is terrifying, which is why most never continue. The mind resists, the body tenses, fear rises. But this fear is not danger. It's the gateway. On the other side of that resistance lies integration, Each encounter with your shadow inside a dream allows you to reclaim lost pieces of yourself. The shame, anger, guilt, and grief that you've tried to deny finally find expression. They transform from inner enemies into parts of your story that no longer control you. This is why conscious dreaming isn't about controlling your dreams like a video game. It's about allowing the suppressed aspects of your psyche to rise and teaching yourself to stay present while they do. The deeper you go, the more you realize that what you feared most was never the content itself. It was your resistance to it. Once you stop resisting, the content begins to shift. Nightmares soften, anxiety fades, and slowly, your inner world becomes a place not of fear, but of profound healing. This is where practical methods begin. The first step is preparation. Before sleep, your mind needs to know it has permission to enter this work. Simple rituals signal your subconscious that tonight will be different. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Avoid screens that hijack your brain's natural rhythms. Slow your breathing. Focus on relaxing your jaw, neck, and stomach, 3 places where suppressed tension often hides. These small physical shifts create internal safety, allowing deeper layers to surface without overwhelming you. Studies in neurophysiology show that physical relaxation directly influences the brain's ability to transition into restorative sleep phases, including REM, where most subconscious processing occurs. Next is intention. Before sleep, speak a clear internal statement. Tonight, I allow myself to see what I need to see. You're not forcing control. You're opening a doorway. This simple act activates what neuroscience calls the reticular activating system, a network that filters information according to your focus. By setting intention, you prime your mind to bring forward the material ready for integration. Keeping a dream journal is non-negotiable. The moment you wake, record every fragment, image, or emotion. Even if it feels meaningless, write it down. This practice strengthens your mind's ability to retain dream content and creates patterns your conscious mind can later recognize. Over time, symbols will repeat, emotions will reveal connections, and slowly, the language of your subconscious becomes more familiar. As this process deepens, you may encounter recurring fears. Instead of running, enter them. Speak to the figures in your dreams. Ask why they appear. Lucid dreaming techniques, as validated in LeBurge's studies, can allow you to become aware during dreams and engage directly. But even without full lucidity, your increasing familiarity with dream content will reduce fear and increase stability. This is not about control, it's about relationship. The most painful truth comes next. Healing through sleep doesn't mean your pain will vanish. It means you'll learn to carry it differently. The wounds remain part of your story, but they no longer rule you. As you face your shadow within dreams, you integrate what once controlled you from the dark. This is why true inner work never promises to make you whole by removing pain. It offers wholeness by including everything you are, even the parts you once tried to escape. When you stop demanding that your pain disappear, you create space for real peace. This peace isn't the absence of suffering. It's the end of your war with yourself. You stop being trapped in cycles of repression and reaction. Instead, you develop the ability to sit inside your own complexity without collapsing under it. The dreams stop feeling like attacks. They become teachers. Their images stop haunting you. They start guiding you. Your subconscious, once an enemy you feared, transforms into an ally that shows you where you've been blind, where you've abandoned yourself, and where your greatest strength was always hidden. Each time you choose presence inside your dreams, you reclaim a piece of your mind that was once fractured. The anxiety that ruled your nights begins to lose its grip. Restlessness softens, and over time, your sleep becomes not a battlefield, but a laboratory for personal transformation. You don't wake up simply rested. You wake up clearer, lighter, more whole. Now the final layer, building a structure that supports this work long-term. Create an environment that signals safety to your nervous system. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, and free of devices that stimulate your mind. Light exposure directly affects melatonin production, the hormone responsible for sleep regulation. Studies show that even minimal blue light delays the body's natural sleep cycles, making deep processing harder to reach. Let your space become a signal to your subconscious that this is a safe place for inner work. Develop a nightly practice of asking yourself 3 questions before sleep. What emotion have I avoided today? What fear keeps repeating? What part of me needs attention? You're not forcing answers. You're inviting your subconscious to bring forward what's ready. Neuroscientists call this pre-sleep suggestion, and research confirms it shapes both the content and clarity of dreams. Over time, your mind learns that sleep isn't just shutdown, it's preparation for integration. Strengthen your intention-setting practice. Instead of controlling outcomes, focus on openness. Tonight, I allow my mind to show me what I need to see. This openness lowers inner resistance, allowing your subconscious to surface without triggering overwhelm. In doing this, you create a dialogue between your conscious and unconscious selves. Finally, avoid the trap of literal interpretation. Dreams rarely speak directly. They communicate through symbols, emotions, and metaphors. If you fixate on exact meanings, you'll miss the larger message. Focus instead on how the dream made you feel, what patterns repeat, and which emotions rise. Over time, this emotional decoding gives you far more clarity than any rigid symbolic system. Before we close, there's one more key, simple but powerful. It's called body anchoring. Most people treat the body as separate from the mind, especially in sleep work. But your nervous system holds the key to deeper rest and access to subconscious processing. Tonight, before you sleep, lie on your back and place one hand on your chest, the other on your stomach. Breathe slowly. Inhale through your nose for 4 slow counts. Hold for 2. Exhale through your mouth for 6. As you exhale, lightly press your hands into your body. This physical contact signals safety to your brainstem, the oldest part of your brain responsible for survival regulation. When your body senses safety, the brain releases tension it normally holds in defense. This opens the pathway for deeper, uninterrupted sleep cycles. Studies in somatic therapy confirm that even mild physical grounding activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing cortisol and allowing natural sleep mechanisms to engage fully. But more importantly, this practice tells your subconscious that it is safe to surface. The suppressed emotions, images, and unresolved conflicts can rise without overwhelming your system, because your body no longer signals danger. Repeat this practice nightly. Let it become a ritual, not a task. Over time, your system learns that sleep is not a battlefield. Your body becomes the anchor that holds you steady while your mind journeys through its inner landscapes. Emotional content integrates more gently. Nightmares lose their edge. Anxiety fades, and your sleep transforms into what it was always meant to be. Not an escape from life, but a gateway into your own depth. If you feel it's time to stop running from your shadow and enter your own depth, write in the comments, "My darkness is my strength. Let's build a community of those who no longer fear looking inside. This is only the beginning. We're sure you've discovered plenty of value, so subscribe now and stay connected.